Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is our documentary on Banbridge Recycling Centre. As you can see behind me here, we have the operational works of this multi-million pound recycling centre. And we'll be going around discussing how they get on and what's going to happen. As you can see, it's really loud, so let's get to work.
The Banbridge Recycling Centre was opened on Wednesday, the 30th April 2008 by the Minister of Environment Arlene Foster MLA. The centre has been active since its opening, having a driven and committed working force. Furthermore, it features a restore centre open to the general public.
We now go to Rowan McInteggart, and he will be going to inspect the sewage pipes just outside of the recycling centre. The member of staff who will be discussing this with him will be Morrison.
Hi, I'm Rowan and I'm with Dominic here of the Banbridge Recycling Centre, and we're going to discuss the organic waste in the reefs area here.
This is a reed bed that's used for the recycling of water that comes, obviously rainwater or the wastewater from the toilets, etc. in the buildings. And what happens is it gets pumped up to this point, and there's 3 points we have along the side here where the wastewater gets pumped in.
Yes.
The first stage, it's a two-stage system. The first stage gets rid of the solids.
Yes.
And then as it gets filtered through, it goes into the next stage where it then cleans out all the bacteria and stuff like that there.
Yes.
And you end up with water. Now, it wouldn't be drinkable, the water, but you can still use it in the cisterns and the toilets in the buildings.
Yeah, something that can just easily just get rid of and it's not in any human contact.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, so that's actually brilliant. That's actually a good health and safety
Smaller
feature.
versions, as I said to you earlier, there's smaller versions that people are building now. If you have a large building site, when you build a house, you can get, instead of a septic tank, you can get a version of this for your own site.
So if someone has a reasonable sized garden, then this is probably a possible,
it's a very good
positive idea to do for definitely recycling the water and different other factors.
As I said, the water gets pumped up. You've seen it coming through. This takes out the solids. There's another outlet on that side where it then moves into the next stage, filtration.
Just to kind of relate to Rowan's point, another reason why I have these reeds here is because this entire area, as you can see, there's a bit of a bog over there too. There's a bit of a bog. Now it's a natural, it's a special habitat for a lot of different animals and insects and stuff. And they're actually not allowed to destroy as much bog as they used to be now because so many animals are dying out because of that. So they've kind of just kept this wee area here as a nice preserved habitat to live in, but the fact that they've destroyed all the rest of it.
The next topic we will be talking about will be general waste, and to go over this shall be none other than myself, Matthew Barratt. Because people are starting to become more lazy and not bother with recycling, they decide to take the easy way out by just throwing it in their general waste bin, and as we all know, general waste is not good for the environment. And even though this may seem harsh, the council will give out fines depending on how much the amount of general waste is produced per household. This will encourage people to recycle more, as we do not want to pay fines, and hopefully it will benefit us for the best and the environment. So let us hope that this decision that the council are making is for the better and will encourage the public to recycle more. With many sharp objects like metal and glass, it's hard to know when something dangerous may occur within a recycling centre. Because there are many techniques to dispose of any waste, whether it be general waste or anything can be recycled, this will bring up our next topic, which is health and safety. Right now, to explain an event that recently happened during our time at Recycling Centre, that we have Dominic and Rowan again to go over what happened within the televisions.
So, definitely, how did this happen?
It's one of these older rear projection TVs.
Yeah.
This is the screen of it. We pulled the screen out so it wouldn't happen again, but it's basically a magnifying lens to the front. And inside you have 3 projectors that project up onto this mirror and reflect the image then on the inside of the screen. But what happened yesterday with the bright sunlight beaming in, it concentrated the beam onto the back and it actually melted a hole in the back.
Yeah, look at that. That's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can see where it's melted a hole right through, so we'll have to remove that so that it wouldn't cause a fire, but you can smell the burning plastic halfway around the side.
I know, and if if that wasn't unnoticed, there could have been a serious
You could have been
burnt out here.
Yeah,
And then a lot of stuff would have been.
And it's all toxic. All the fumes coming out of there would be toxic.
Yeah, so thank God it was actually noticed, and like for the future, hopefully it actually will be like checked upon the actual TVs and stuff. Yeah, especially the more modern ones.
Yeah, well, it just shows you, even if you were to throw out the bottle of a glass, or a glass bottle, the curvature in the glass would be enough to concentrate the beam of the sunlight and cause fires, forest fires in the summer, for instance.
Yeah, so, whoa, that's just like mod, that's that burning in this.
It's great to play with, because you can magnify people's heads then, you know?
Yeah.
So seeing how something as dangerous as this can happen, who knows when it can happen again? Well, to be fair, the Banbridge Recycling Centre has won many awards and certificates for being approved of being well safe to its many workers. They make sure that all their members of staff go through the same procedures for safety, and it always works out very well for them. So if anything, there should be trust within these people because they seem to know what they're doing, and I'm pretty sure we can guarantee the safety of others' lives. A part of the Banbridge recycling process is their partnership with Regen. We'll explain Regen throughout this investigation on the communities.
The national race to reduce waste is on, with local and district councils throughout the UK and Ireland facing the ever-present financial pressure of meeting more and more stringent EU recycling targets. To meet these targets and avoid financial penalties, you'll require a variety of recycling options. One of the most effective being a reliable, cost-effective means of dealing with your commingled dry recyclables. That's where Regen can help. Operating from one of the most technologically advanced commingled recycling facilities in Europe, Regen delivers a nationwide bulk collection service. Capable of processing more than 60,000 tons of mixed dry recyclable waste each and every year, lorries arriving back at the facility are weighed before being directed to the delivery bay. The process begins with the commingled recyclables being unloaded into a purpose-built storage area, capable of holding over 1,000 tons of mixed dry recyclables at a time. From here, it's moved on to the factory floor, where it begins to be sorted using a series of state-of-the-art automated systems. 5 individually designed picking stations sort the waste into newspaper, mixed paper, plastics, aluminium, and steel. Passing through the first manual sorting stage, known as pre-picking, non-recyclable impurities are removed. From here, conveyor belts move the waste along to an automated screen separation area. Here, advanced disc screen and airflow technology separates cardboard, paper and mixed fibre materials. As an added quality control measure, each picking station is also manned by a team of quality operatives, known as pickers, who ensure that nothing slips through the net, removing any remaining impurities within the Grade 1 paper. This is all done in strict accordance with health and safety guidelines. During the next stage of sifting, powerful magnets within the automated system separate metals to avoid cross-contaminating bales. At this point, a third team of pickers are employed to remove any final traces of paper, leaving only plastic and aluminium. Now, an eddy current is used to separate the aluminium from the plastic. Having sorted the materials into their individual components, they're then sent to be baled. Each bale is checked once more for quality, and if required, removed and sent back to start the process again. From here, the bales are then stored in designated holding areas until they're to be loaded for transport to the reprocessors, where they can then be recycled back into drinks cans, newspapers and magazines.
Now let us move on to the public's view of what Regen, the Banbridge Council, are planning to do. We will be interviewing Mr. Ernest Barratt and Mrs. Paula Barratt within the Barratt residence, and to see what's their opinion on the Banbridge Recycling Centre's new methods. How often do you recycle?
Every day.
Every day.
Are you aware of the fines given by the EU?
No, I was not.
No.
And are you aware that if you do not go by these rules by the council, you will be fined?
I didn't know that till just now.
No, I wasn't aware of it at all.
Are you aware that the council is merging so it can make a much bigger council in the Southern Regional?
I didn't know that either.
No, I didn't know that either.
So you think that the measures are important for the environment?
Well, I believe that we should all make recycling a way of life. So I don't know whether we need to do these imposed fines and things like this. But however, if they're necessary, so be it.
Well, I think it's important to recycle, and I think if it takes fines to make people step up to the mark and do their bit for the environment, then so be it.
So you do think that these measures are important?
I think they're very important that we all abide by recycling.
Very much so. We have to think of the future and our children and our children's children. Yeah, we have to really we all have to take part.
So they don't really know that much information, but even so, they still keep up to date with recycling, and they seem to think that these procedures are necessary.
I'm here in Armagh to interview two people: a local authority team leader, Rory Johnston, and a company founding manager, Paula Johnston. I believe Armagh Council is using Bryson to get rid of waste. How does that work?
Well, Bryson, Armagh City Council provide a blue box and a black box for the Bryson recycling, which is your household recycling. That will include your newspapers, glass bottles, plastic bottles, some old tools, and a few other different types of plastic. Bryson then come around and lift those with their own staff and vehicles around the Armagh district.
Would you say Armagh is one of the top districts for recycling?
Well, I think they're pretty good. They've been at it. They're one of the early councils that got involved in recycling. I mean, they met their targets fairly early on, and I think that they're very proactive on it. You know, they're even all their green waste, everything is recycled. They're very keen even with their own staff, any waste that we have to be recycled, to recycle as much as possible.
Would the merge of councils help Armagh to be cleaner?
Well, I suppose with the bigger councils, it's just there's going to be a lot more sort of concentration of maybe a bigger department on doing it. They may have their own area where they bring everything themselves. They may even start sorting out recycling themselves, you know, and actually put it over as a council run department, so that we recycle themselves, and you know, any profit they make goes back to ratepayers and to improve services.
Would the fines help the environment?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it sort of focuses the council's minds that they have to do it, or I mean, they say that they put their rates up. You know, if the ratepayers are prepared to pay the extra because they can't or don't want to recycle, well, I mean, I think there has to be some sort of a incentive for people to recycle. You know, and if that's in the form of either fines or rewards, then you know, it certainly has to be looked at. It can't go on indefinitely into landfill, because it's a quite expensive landfill.
How often do you recycle?
I recycle as much as I can on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, as much as I can.
Are you aware of the fines given by the EU?
Not fully aware. I've heard of some fines, but I'm not fully aware.
Are you aware that if you do not go by these rules by the council, you will be fined?
I'm aware of that, yes. I've seen that in local papers.
Are you aware that the council is merging so that it makes a bigger council in the Southern Regional?
I've heard things, yes.
So you think that these measures are important for the environment?
Absolutely. The environment has gone downhill, and the more we can help it, the better it will become.
So do you think that these measures are important?
Extremely. And I think everybody should take it on board.
As this short film clearly shows, Regen is uniquely equipped to help you meet your commingled recycling targets. Indeed, we're already helping councils throughout the UK and Ireland. At Regen, we combine in-depth knowledge with technological capability and a nationwide network to deliver a level of service that not only meets EU legal requirements, but surpasses them. Regen has been certified OHSAS 18001, ISO 9001 and ISO 14001, which means the company's operations are to the very highest health and safety, quality and environmental standards. But why take our word for it? To find out how Regen can help you meet your EU target for recycling commingled waste, call us today on 028 302 65432.
Would Regen and the Banbridge Recycling Centre be a good model for the other districts in Northern Ireland?
Now let's move on to the Restore project. It's a place where other people can donate their own stuff. Let's go find out what Restore really is about.
Right, the Restore project is funded by ESF, which is the European Social Fund. And really it's initially set up to take people who are long-term unemployed and reskill them. We take them in here between 8 and 26 weeks, and we can offer them an NVQ at level 2 in engineering and in joinery and furniture restoration. All the furniture that is normally donated by the general public, and we collect it from the various sites like Dromore, Ruadhan and Banbridge, and then we recycle it, and then it's sold through the shop at a very minimal cost. Electrical goods are similar. We get those donated from the general public, from some of the wholesalers, and also from the various sites. We also support all the local charities, such as Mineways, we have Hospice, Fitz de Paul, and all the other charities are in the local council area. We supply them with what they need, electrical goods or furniture. At the minute we're funding a project for Clan Rye, which is a social enterprise project, which we're going to donate a lot of furniture for their shop, which is going to be operated in the summer. So basically that's it.
I'm also here with Matthew McKinley to talk about how Restore works and where they get their workforce from. For personal reasons, Matthew McKinley would like to keep his identity anonymous. So, what exactly how does Restore work? Sorry, just talk me through.
Well, Restore works primarily as a training facility that you take on a lot of guys or individuals who would be very marginalised and would be from the extremes of the the extremes to get employability, and it comes in and they learn some skills in woodwork, they learn skills in electrical engineering, they learn customer facing skills, they learn time management skills, they learn dealing with customers, they would go out in deliveries, and basically to give them self-esteem and consequently give them the confidence to apply for jobs in the future.
That's very good actually. Okay, so then primarily what would you have, what would you fix up the most? What would be your main...
Well, it's very difficult to say. Essentially, what you find in here is during the winter, you would fix up a lot of fridges. Because we notice there's a big sort of economy of scale work here. When somebody throws out a fridge, everybody throws out a fridge.
Oh, I see.
January time, you would fix up a lot of sofas. Because people get you a lot of sofas at Christmas. Come January time, people have to recycle them. Now, come in the springtime, you'll be getting a lot of children's bikes in as people clear out the garages. And a lot of lawnmowers in as well.
Ah.
And if you look at it, we've basically got a system to be able to follow us here. There's a lot of trends out there, believe it or not.
Really? Yes, that's crazy actually.
So when one person throws out something, you usually find it's
everyone else.
It's a group activity.
Oh yes, so the whole load. Oh, that's brilliant actually. So then, how many would you have in enrollment then?
Trainees?
Yeah, trainees.
Trainees, we've got what? We've got 8 trainees from the Job Development Office. We've got 1 from the Justice and 2 from probation.
Oh, they're very good actually then. So is it on like a rotation basis? So you'd have different ones.
Well, the probation are here to work up certain hours that have been allocated through the courts and justice system. People who are from the Job Development Office usually can be long-term unemployed, which is classified as unemployed for a year. Because to get on a scheme like this here, you have to be.
Yes.
The government have to allocate resources, and usually for individuals who find it difficult to apply for jobs themselves, for whatever reasons. And the Youth Justice, we sort of dabs more of a sporadic ad hoc basis.
I got those facts in recycling again. Oh, really great.
So, can you believe that recycled paper produces 73% less air pollution than if it was made from raw materials?
That's ridiculous. And that 12.5 million tonnes of paper and cardboard are used only in the UK.
I know. And the average person in the UK goes through about 38 kilograms of newspapers every year?
These are insane. What? Each UK family uses an average of 500 glass bottles and jars annually.
I know, I can't believe these facts. Quick, let's get off here, quick. Bottles. Most of our bottles washes up on beaches, rivers, pollute our streams, like this one example. So, we need to get some basic facts. Fact number 1, 270,000 tonnes of plastic are used every year in the UK. That's about 15 million bottles per day. Coke bottles, everything used. Most families throw away about 40 kilograms in their own weight of plastic bottles away every year. That is a large amount. Your Coke bottles, your medicine bottles, all the bottles you use for your water, all thrown away into the rivers. What a terrible idea.
Each UK family uses an average of 500 bottles and jars annually. The largest glass furnace produces over 1 million glass bottles and jars per day. Glass is 100% recyclable and can be used again and again. Glass that is thrown away and ends up in landfills never decompose.
24 million tonnes of aluminium is produced annually, 51,000 tonnes of which ends up as packaging in the UK. If all cans in the UK were recycled, we would have 14 million fewer dustbins, which obviously would be so much better than what we have already. In fact, actually, £36 million worth of aluminium is thrown away each year, which by God is a lot. And aluminium cans can be recycled and ready to be used in just 6 weeks.
Curbside short recycling. Morrison currently provide curbside box service to over 170,000 households in Northern Ireland across 6 council areas. This curbside system allows Morrison to filter out contamination at the point of collection, which results in high quality recyclable materials that can be recycled locally. Recyclable materials are a resource. Morrison makes a considerable effort to sell many materials locally and currently sells 35% of its materials to Northern Irish companies, such as wind glass, cherry pipes and CTR, supporting around 1,000 jobs.
Morrison recently used its experience and knowledge of recycling to inspire a new recycling collection vehicle called the Curb Sort, which was designed and manufactured by Offaly-based company Ruadhan.
These new vehicles are designed to be the most effective collection of vehicles on the market. Conway Councils in Wales was the first council to use them for curbside recycling service, and most recently Morrison started using them for their own collection service in Ballymena, Carfergus and Newtown Abbey.
Morrison has therefore expanded the range of materials collected through their curbside box services in these areas to include cartons and plastic packaging. Curbside sort recycling also provides a means for collecting glass whilst maintaining the quality of the glass and the other materials collected. Banbridge Council are taking new steps to get people to start recycling more. General waste is no longer the easy way out. It's hard for the public to perhaps accept this. People really do not want to be fined for careless waste disposal.
Having saw everything that happens within the recycling centre in Banbridge, it is clear that it is full of people who seem to enjoy their work. There are efforts to help make the environment around us a much better, less polluted place, and hopefully it can be for the best.
Story? No. But the old man. Page 6. Hey, come here, it's me, Pete. Oh no, did you catch that?
So, from Matthew Barratt, Brandon Morrison, Rowan McInteggart and Adam Baines, let us hope that we can move to a much better, cleaner future.